What we've gotten before, what we gotten before uh, the remaining episodes, specifically episode 4. This whole season kind of left to be a little bit to desired, and some people are kind of deciding whether this should have been a movie, whether it should have been a actual TV show, for it being a more of a series storytelling. So that's a 2 hour and a half long movie. Release. And personally, I think that after watching this finale, absolutely right that it should have been a movie. And what from the reports that we gotten from Lucasfilm, they have actually told us that they had ideas that they're actually going to be doing a trilogy of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Originally, that was the idea, but since when we got the reports of the Han Solo movie, and obviously that didn't do really good in the box office, that basically led to them deciding that, hey, let's just do a show, and then not really talk about the overall, wait, do a trilogy because a theatrical release might be more risk, but if we do a show just like The Mandalorian, then it might actually be successful. But in terms of just talking about the episode as a whole, as we left off in the remaining episode, people getting captured, or at least they're being stranded out in the middle of space yet again, Last Jedi style. So I know we got Stranger Things coming up too soon. Be on the lookout for that. And we'll be actually doing a spoiler discussion about that too, because I wanted to wait until the overall season come out before I actually give my thoughts about it. Also, shout out to Wally in the chat. Thank you, man, for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. But going on in terms of the show, I really think that where we started off was a very space where they're stranding off into space, and then now all of a sudden we have Obi-Wan deciding whether or not he wants to basically just kind of leave Leia and the rest of the people, because he's the main reason why they're being targeted, because of Vader. And as to have these Imperial cruisers because coming chase them down, and now Obi-Wan decided, hey, I'm gonna go off and deal with Vader, and you guys go on and leave on without me. Basically what happened is that when you saw that as he left off, you see Vader and had basically a conversation with the Grand Inquisitor, right? This was talking about, say, hey, Lord Vader, we should probably just stay on target with these, or with these rebels or these people, and then instead of leave Obi-Wan and go. Like, no, we're targeting Obi-Wan, and so he did. So then, therefore, we get our iconic, duel between Vader and Obi-Wan, which was obviously long awaited. And I gotta say, in terms of that fight, I don't want to say it topped Battle of the Heroes in Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith, but I think it did. Narratively, I thought there was a lot of weight to the scene, how they, way they choreographed that scene, having them stranded out, just them two alone in this distant planet, and then you see just Vader just, blinded, just with rage, anger, just focusing on Obi-Wan. Now Obi-Wan is still also, he's pulling his punches, and then I liked the point where he kind of rehashed his line, talking to Vader, saying, I must do what I must. And then it would have been cool if we had the Battle of the Heroes theme from John Williams being played during that scene. But me personally, I thought they did a really good job, at least trying to set up the emotional arc of that entire scene. But then as we get into it, we see Obi-Wan is still not actually fully connected to the Force, and then you see in this fight that he's still getting into in with Vader, and to a point that Vader cripples him. And then that there's one significant part of that whole scene where now you see Vader actually putting down Obi-Wan and crushing him down with rubble, and now to the point that Vader has the high ground. And I thought that was very the irony of that scene, I thought that was really cool. And as he just walked away, and then what basically got Obi-Wan to come out and basically use the Force to get out was basically his remembrance of why he is doing what he's doing, because he's here to protect Luke and protect Leia. And then he used the Force and him to get out. And then all of a sudden now we get basically our Clone Wars. We get our Clone Wars type of power level of Obi-Wan Kenobi in this scene. And him lifting the rocks and all that stuff. Basically, it's just true Force Unleashed things as well. And I really like what they did, in terms of that scene, because again, it's just like at that all of a sudden gloves were off, and now all of a sudden now we see him and Vader are now going in sparring match with each other, and to the point that Vader actually met his match. Now, I had one con with this scene, was that they basically played a Star Wars Rebels when it was Vader against Ahsoka, right? And then we see Vader with the broken mask and looking and saying, "Oh, that's Anakin, that you." And again, it was going to that a very, very emotional scene after Obi-Wan has got him, got his breathing apparatus and everything, and to the point that now that Vader is basically at a point where the mask has been being cut off, but then also he's going in and out of his voice of Anakin and the voice of Vader, and then you see his hated Christian in that armor. I thought that was a beautiful shot what they did. But yes, if you guys follow your animated and follow all the lore, this was a very, very consistent scene with Star Wars Rebels. But to me personally, I liked the scene, and I won't say I got really emotional with this scene, but to me personally, it was a point where Obi-Wan was looking at Anakin finally, and it kept saying, "I'm sorry, Anakin." After he kept saying, "I'm sorry for all of it," he's breaking in tears. But then to me, and that's what got me, because this is like my childhood. I'm looking at this and I'm wondering, this is just as a scene about life, is that who are we as people when we look at, people we felt like we hurt, and to the point we put them in the position they're in, and we're just apologizing, "Hey, I'm so sorry for everything," even when it wasn't even our fault. And it wasn't his fault, because in the scene, that Anakin or Vader responding to him, it's like he responded with the line, "I am not your failure, Obi-Wan. I am not your failure." And to me, that got me to my core. You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker, I did. And that just got me. Oh shoot, Lord have mercy. We got a bunch of people in the back. Look at this love here. We got Rob B in the house. Thank you, Rob B. I'm going to be putting the link in the chat, because then we'll have this discussion. And I know it's going to be very, very heated for some things, because we're going to talk about this, the boys. Now episode 7 already dropped, so we can talk about certain things, and but yeah, shout out to Marcus in the chat. Shout out to Marcus. Shout out to the Great Pill Podcast. Shout out to the Great Pill Podcast. Shout out to Intellectual Soapbox. Thank you guys for your support. Yeah, shout out to Young Side Knowledge and Relationship. We in the building. Thank you, man. I appreciate your support, man. I hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well. Actually, let me just put this. Shout out to Before the Billions. Yes. Always supporting your boy. Always supporting your boy. Yeah, let me just put the link in the chat here now. The whole family's up in this joint. I appreciate y'all's support. Yeah. We got Poppy. Up in the building. Yeah, shout out to Poppy Blanco in the building. And anybody's watching this, make sure you guys subscribe to all these channels. You got all these good content creators up in the building, man. And we always support one another up in this space here. But shout out to y'all. But yeah, I know I'm about to bring you guys up, and we're gonna have a big discussion. When the scene, basically, it goes to a point of like, okay, now Anakin saying like, "Yeah, you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker, I did, and now just like I'm going to destroy you." And then this was just his point, where now that you have Obi-Wan coming to terms, now that now my friend is truly dead, which goes to the line back in New Hope, because we all thought before the show even came out that Obi-Wan, the last time we saw Vader and Obi-Wan go with sparring with each other, was in Revenge of the Sith. Lo and behold, we got this series, and at that point when he came to terms that Anakin Skywalker is dead, that's when he said, "All right, now no, goodbye, and he responded to Darth. He didn't say Anakin, he said Darth, just like he did when Sir Alec Guinness said that to him back in New Hope. So now we got to be inconsistent. We got to be the point where we thought that was a plot hole. Now it's now consistent from the narrative of the overall canon of Star Wars. So I like that. And he walked away, left him there. He could have killed him. He could have spared a bunch of people, lives, and planets. But hey, plot armor. But yeah, lo and behold, we have all that. But yeah, I put in the link in the chat here. I know we're gonna bring out some people up in here. I got my boy Mark, and I'm like, it's absolutely ridiculous what they were doing, and it's such a damn shame, because this actress, I know she put her heart out in this performance, I know, but it's such a damn shame, and now. Now to the point that she was gonna kill Luke Skywalker, and now again, and she's like, well, obviously we know he wasn't gonna die, but then just say, hey, I can't kill him, and having this anticlimactic, I can't kill him, and now what? But lo and behold, now that storyline is over. Obi-Wan not come to terms, and now here he is, talking to Uncle Owen, and now the relationship is bended to where now like, hey, he want to meet Luke. And now him as 10 years old, and then now we get to talk to him going on his adventures, and he says the famous line, "Hello there," and now to the point that this show ended, and we're still waiting. Like, hey, we still got time here. What's going on? To the point now, we finally got Qui-Gon Jinn appearing in this show, which we all knew was going to happen. Now, I will say this is that amongst the overall season, that scene could have been so 10 times better than what it was, and be emotional and all this stuff. But I felt was a missed opportunity, because now it's just like after all this 6 episodes, we have it in there, and now it's like, okay, cool, peace, and then end of the show, or supposedly, because they might get a season 2. But lo and behold, my rant. I just think that, again, I thought there was a really good finale, but just because of the overall season, there were certain low points, and that it was high and low. It was basically just an emotional roller coaster, but this should have been in a 2.5 hour format. And that just leads to my review for Obi-Wan, the finale. I thought the show was still good, but it could have been better. And hopefully they can probably get a season 2. We know we want to see more of Ewan McGregor. I think he did a fantastic job with his performance. But one thing for sure, I'll say, and before I make this comment, I see you guys in the back chat. I'm gonna bring y'all. Now we're gonna end this point. Is that this show proved to you that we need a Vader series, right? We need a Vader series, right? And now, because Hayden Christensen did a fantastic job with his character, that with Vader, this basically showed that, hey, he's been redeemed after all the backlash he got from the prequels. That Vader, now he makes the show. Without him, this show would have been shit. So, but yeah, I thought they did a fantastic job with Vader. It was textbook, even with this music. So, but yeah, that goes to my review of Obi-Wan Kenobi finale. But yeah, there's some people watching on live, but also in the pre-recording. Go into the comment section. Let me know your thoughts of the overall season. Did you like it? Did you thought it was a waste of your time? Or you actually thought this was a really good story or a contribution to the canon of Star Wars? And also, does it compare to Mandalorian? Was it better? Was it worse? Please let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. All right, now.
That's it, time out. Guys, let's all calm down, yeah? We're all worked up. Let's all just, chill the F out.